For all of my people that have gone no contact with their family members or their parents, what was the final straw for you that made you make that decision? Stitch this with your response. I'll go first. So I'm the oldest and the only girl of my mother's 3 children. She has 2 boys that are younger than me, and then I have a younger brother on my father's side. So I'm the only girl to all boys, and I'm the oldest. With that being said, my mother has always supported and been more patient and more understanding, more caring, more loving towards my brothers. So I've kind of been dealing with this, my whole life, but trying to make it work because I really desired a relationship with my mother. I knew closer to this age that I am right now, I'm almost 30, I knew that I would never have the version of my mother that I've always wanted and that my brothers get, but it didn't stop me from trying to still make it work because I knew that that part of me was kind of missing. Long story short, probably about 2, 3 weeks ago at this point, I had a conversation with my mom about her lack of support for me. I'm the first author in my family. I'm the first life coach, spiritual advisor in my family. Mind you, I'm in a family full of Christians. My mother is a pastor. Her mother is a pastor, born and raised in a church. So that's a whole nother story. But I had a conversation about my mother's lack of support, and I was, communicating to her like, I show up for you in these ways and I do things for you, and all I'm asking is for basic support. And my mother, we was on FaceTime, looked in the phone and said these words to me, and they keep replaying in my head, and I know a part of me is still holding on to it. I'm a Gemini, so I don't like emotions, but I know a part of me is definitely hurt, and I replay it for a reason. But she looked me dead in my face on FaceTime and said, you can't expect yourself out of other people. And that was her reason for not supporting me the way that I support her. So after hearing that, of course, I was very hurt. I was quiet the rest of the phone call. I didn't really want to talk, and I haven't talked to her since. And I think that that is probably the most hurtful thing that she's ever said to me, because it was doubling down on the fact that I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to show up for you just because you show up for me, or I'm not going to show up for you in the ways that you would love for me or want for me to show up for you. And me being a life coach, I teach healing. I specialize in shadow work, and I already know that, we can expect ourselves out of people. But when you're still going through healing parental traumas, healing mommy issues, daddy issues, it still stings just like you were 6 years old. It still stings just like you were that 13 or 14 or 15-year-old, still living in those environments, still growing up in that household. It feels the same. And it's a process, even though I teach healing, I am still healing myself. And it is something that takes daily effort. It is something that comes in cycles. Sometimes you're good, and then sometimes you go through a point where you're not so good. But to anybody who is in separation from their parents or in separation from their family, or you've gone no contact, know that it is a good decision for you. Know that if the goal is to protect your peace and to set up boundaries, then you are doing a great job. Know that the support that we need may not come from the people that we want it from, but it doesn't mean that it's not coming. So what it really did for me was open my eyes to all of the support that I do have in my life. And I may never get the support that I want from my mom, but that's okay, because there are strangers who will go to bat for me, who support me, who have invested and poured so much into myself, into my business, into the things that I do. And I don't take that for granted at all. So hopefully this encourages, whoever may need it. Feel free to come into the comment section and kind of give your 2 cents, or to stitch this video with your 2 cents. But it's something that definitely needs to be talked about, because it's something that is very, very serious, and very current in our community, especially as we're going through this process of ascension and healing.